all. This is Srimai Majumdar from Swami Vivekananda Institute of Modern Science. We have been dealing with the topic of business communication, and chapter-wise we have been progressing. In the earlier edition, we have been dealing with non-verbal communication, and today under non-verbal communication we will add chapters called paralanguage and proxemics. Earlier we had done kinesics, which means that the movements of the body, it could be the face, it could be the limbs of the body, which communicate without using words, neither in the written form nor spoken, but it communicates. For example, a hug or a folded palms means something, which can mean a very close, affectionate hug. It can also mean a greeting. Similarly, there are other ways where we can express our feelings through non-verbal communication. This particular area which we are dealing with is called paralanguage. Why is it called paralanguage? Para means like, akin, similar. When a particular form of communication is similar to language, it is called paralanguage. By paralanguage, we mean that there are certain sounds, tonal qualities or pitching which are able to make us communicate, or which enables us to communicate, and these are the following features of paralanguage. First of all, particular voice. Voice itself does not mean it is just it is a word. A sound itself is a voice. When we call someone, hey, that itself, it's not a word, but that particular voice or that particular sound is part of paralanguage. In the next part, we have said certain tonal qualities can be used as paralanguage. For example, a very, very dense, serious This particular sound effect itself shows that the matter is understood, or there is approval. Or if I go into the next part, which is called pitching, this particular sound, it could be a sound of excitement, sound of happiness. How I pitch if I am excited, the pitching, the throw of the voice can exude happiness, or a very low, sad sound may talk of sadness. Tonal quality and pitching is a very, very important area of paralanguage. Volume variation. What do we mean by volume variation? A very, very steady, very flat tone can make you sleep, but we may not hear the exact words. But if it is varied, supposing we are hearing a sound of a song from afar, and we understand it is a song, this volume variation, this musical quality is part of paralanguage. And to top it all, lastly, the entire mixed signal. It can be the body language, it can be the sound, it can be the pitching. The entire process may not depend totally on the words, but the total presentation can be a part of paralanguage. In the next part, we talk about proxemics. What do we mean by proxemics? The word comes from proximity. Proximity it means the distance or the closeness between people. In the photograph that we have, we feel there is it's a close, tight bonding between maybe the grandfather and the grandson. It's a very, very intimate hug, intimate moment in these two people's lives. Whether they speak or not, their intimacy, the lack of distance, tells us about a certain kind of communication between the two. Now, how do we use distance in our conversation, in day to day communication? There are four spaces. These four spaces are: first one, intimate space, which is, say, around 18 inches or 1.5 feet. In this case, this is an example of intimate space. It is used by members of the family, very close friends, mother and son, etc. It can also include extremely close bonding between two people, maybe patient and doctor also, nurse and patient also. We go into the next part, which is personal space. This happens between 18 inches and 4 feet. It can be close friends, colleagues, associates. This, this is also a very, very close knit unit. It may not be within the family, it may be a little social also, but it is very personal. In the next part, we say we can we can jolly well put it this way, that areas between 4 and 12 feet belongs to the social space. It is rather formal, particularly we can call social space as office space. When it is office place, we are reasoning, planning, controlling, interacting with each other. Maybe there is an element of physicality like hugging or a handshake, but it is a social space. And finally, beyond this 12 feet, we go into public space, but it is absolutely unemotional space. There is no emotion in this. It is a flat, emotionally flat land where we are not connected through feelings. Supposing a political figure is talking through the microphone, or a wedding ceremony, or a public microphone is blaring a song, these are all communication in the public space. In such communication, words really do not matter. And proxemics is the study how communication happens through space, through a particular distance. Paralanguage, or this area called proxemics, is also part of non-verbal communication. We call this area paralanguage and proxemics part of language because it cannot have the status of language. Language, to have the status of proper language, we have to use words which have proper meaning, which can be identified. Here, these areas are in the gray area, and these do not demand the status of actual language. But nonetheless, in the conclusion, we can say it is integral part of communication. By integral part, we mean that while we are speaking, we are gesturing, we are moving around, we are using the space between people. It is a combination of both verbal as well as non-verbal to make communication effective. And with that note, we would like to say a big thank you for being with us. We shall continue our discussion. Once again, please stay with us. Thank you again.